Yo, so many pairs of hands in the air look like we holding up the sky. Yo, as if the sky was falling. But no, it's not the sky's falling. We as a culture is falling, dropping like flies, no metaphor intended. Police in the streets shooting down intentionally, no mystery. Because you see the light in your skin, the dark in your skin, the more likely you too can become a target. It's that simple. Because you see, the system got to eat and they starve. They starve for our melanin, just like a simple bottle of water for those in Flint, Michigan, and now Mississippi. My prayers go out to them. You see, the black man, original man, founders of civilization, we create the power in every nation. So when they kill us, it creates dehydration and documentation amongst the next generation. Energy, 11 elements seduced from the earth is a lecture the way they crucify us through our own music. But you see, we the ones that let them do it. I'm looking around like, man, where they do that at? Where they do that at? Only in America. Only in America, my Don King voice. It's crazy how we went from representing royalty to jealousy for one another. But
the world has a weapon, a gun, a bomb, some type of weapon of mass destruction. Well, we have a sword, which is the word of God, which is more powerful than any weapon of mass destruction. So that's what War Cry is all about. It tells you who we are and whose we are.
I love it.
Yeah.
Man, you better support Tony. You know why? Because I said it. The Chicago Bridge Magazine. Because he said it. Because he said it. So what was that experience like, man, when you got out, you put the book together, I'm talking about this book right here, I'm talking about?
Yes, sir.
This is the one you signed for me, man, you know what I mean? So I sure
what did I sign at? 10, 12, 15? Woo, that's a long time ago. That book is a classic. Yeah. You might have had one of the original books.
Peace and blessings. Hey, I definitely want to welcome you all back for another great celebrity interview. You know my name, celebrity interviewer. I said it, and this is the show. This is why I bring you the best interviews from around the world for people that's super talented, from people that's in the community, from people that's in media, in the educational world, and in the world of business. And so today I have another friend here. I have a friend that's very talented. He's actually, man, he's so skilled, decorated when it comes to skills. You know what I mean? And I'm very excited just to introduce who's my next guest. I'm gonna bring him on, and then I'm gonna go ahead and repeat what his titles are, because it's always a pleasure to have him here. Peace to you, brother. How you doing?
What's up, man? How's it going? I said it.
Yeah. I'm good, brother. So if I could just remind the people, if I could have the pleasure of reintroduce you, I want to let everyone know that today, who's here beside me in the house is no other than the legendary musical phenom, pianist, keyboardist, with his new album, I Forgot to Remember to Forget, featuring the late icon, the king of vibes, Ayers. I'm talking about since the early 90s, Mark has actually become a lead musician as part of the band of the late, great Ayers. He is a lecturer of music since 1998 at York College, City University of New York. He is an expert in many areas of music, along with piano, jazz, theory, jazz harmony, jazz history, African American music, Western Europe music, popular music, performance, and etc. And the list continues to go on and on. It is my pleasure to welcome my friend, the legendary Mark Adams. Big salute to you, brother. And thank you so much for just taking the time to be here, man. You could be anywhere in the world. You could be teaching more students about the awesome books that you've written. He's also an author. Man, you know what I mean? I'm just grateful to have you here, man. It's always a pleasure.
This is my pleasure, and I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here. Yes, it's been a wild ride, so it's been fun. So no, throughout my whole career playing with Roy, I was always teaching because that's always been like my balance. I like teaching, and I like nurturing students, watching them grow, watching them learn, and then I like performing. So like if I'm only teaching, I don't have that balance. If I'm only performing, I don't have that balance. So I kind of try to do both, even though I still keep those worlds separate. So, but I still do both those things, and I work around it. So like my whole career with Roy, I was always performing and teaching. So and I always work the schedule accordingly to be able to continue to do both.
Yeah, man, I love that. And just as we're here to continue to just not only celebrate you, but to also just continue to document, history. So what year did you actually begin working with Roy?
I began working with Roy in 1991.
1991.
I
Wow.
I
Okay.
graduated in May of 91, and
Wow.
then I was on the road with Roy of July of 91.
Look at God.
And that's something. And
Mm,
he had, his musical director at the time, the late great
yeah.
Zachary Bro, guitars. I
Okay.
was friends with him, and I was playing. He was doing different things, and I was playing with him. And when Roy's piano player at the time left to go with George Howard,
Mm,
Roy needed another piano player. So Zachary, um, the first time he tried to get me to come, um, my father wouldn't let me leave school. So
wow.
but then that the opportunity came around again after I finished school. So when I finished,
Right.
the opportunity came around right away. God is good. So I was able to take it, and the rest is history. I did the first show with him in Fort Worth, Texas. It's a nice jazz club called Caravan of Dreams. It's not there anymore,
Wow.
but it was awesome at that time. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah, that is, man. I was 11 years old. I had I had not even I not even know who Roy Ayers was at that time. You know what I mean? I had not been
Yeah,
blessed to be educated about who Roy Ayers was until I
yeah.
was about my early 20s, about 22. I didn't know who Roy Ayers was. Honestly, I was ingested deep into the gangster rap and hip hop and stuff like
Yeah,
that. You know, what I mean? I
yeah.
wasn't really into the jazz, with the exception of George Benson. I always used to, what I'm saying, I was digging George Benson. You know what I'm saying? I had got hip to him early.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
but
Yeah.
yeah, so with that being said, like straight out of college, working with, and he was an icon then.
I
When you
know,
started,
I know, I
right?
know. And I
Yeah,
wasn't that familiar with him at the time. I mean, I was only 19, 20, something like that.
yeah,
And he was right at the prime. He was Warriors
right. Yeah.
and sold out shows everywhere. I was in awe of him, and
Mm,
he taught me a lot. Because the one thing he taught me is just like you hear athletes say, leave it on the field, leave it on the
right.
court, leave it on the stage, play
Mm,
like it's like this is your last moment to show who you are and to share your talent and you put it all out and you can't play scared. And the one thing
right.
he taught me, because when I first played, we were at sound check on the first show I played with him. And
What?
I had already done the rehearsal. He liked my playing. He wanted me to be with him. And
Yeah.
at the first at sound check before the first show, he was like, okay. He called the song and we were playing it. And then he started yelling at me, saying, "Play the keyboards." And I'm looking at this cat like, "Oh shit," because it rattled me. He was like, "Play the
Yeah.
keyboard. Stop playing like you're scared of the keyboards. It ain't gonna bite you." Oh, he was
Yeah.
really ragging me that day, and I had to get it together and compose myself because I wasn't used to nobody talking to me like that. So I had to say, okay, and I was already in awe of him because he
Right.
was a superstar in my eyes. I mean, then when you next to him and watching him play, he was just so freaking incredible. So
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, whatever you tell me to do, I'm gonna do. And he
Yeah.
said, let your mind go and play. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Try it. Do not be afraid
Mm.
to fuck up. And I wasn't. And
Right.
I stopped. I stopped because I'm playing with Roy Ayers. So yeah, I was being careful, make sure I played everything correctly. And
Mm.
he wanted that extra thing, and I had to learn to give it to him, which I had to learn real fast, or else I wouldn't have been there long. So I did, and he said, "That's what I'm talking about. Just let it all go, let it all out, play." And play from your heart, not from your head. And it worked. It worked, and that's one big thing I learned from Roy.
Wow. I mean, that's special right there. You know what I mean? And what a privilege, you know what I mean, to learn at an early age to, make it look effortless. You know what I mean? Like they say with with Steph Curry, Stephalus,
Yeah,
he make it
yeah,
look effortless. Like, Roy Ayers, he was just so smooth. And it was
yep,
like, like as if he's not even doing it, but he's doing it at the best of
exactly,
the like, the king of vibes. That's why he's the
exactly,
king of vibes, right?
yep,
you know,
exactly.
um, so if I could double back a little bit, just kind of go back to the beginning, even before you had the pleasure of being connected with someone so powerful, in the music industry, of being Roy. Where did you grow up at? Where are you originally from? For those who don't know.
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. I'm from West Baltimore.
Okay. Okay. West
And
Baltimore.
then later I went to the Baltimore County, but my early years I was in West Baltimore until I was about 12. Then we moved to New York, and I grew up
Okay.
in New York from did all the rest of my schooling. I say from seventh grade all the way through high school, college. It was all in New York. But my early years was in Baltimore, and I still go to Baltimore. I would go to
Mm,
Baltimore, spend the summers down there when I was younger. Even after I moved to New York, my summers were always in Baltimore. Spent a lot of time in Baltimore because that's where most of my family is.
For those that may not be aware, like I've never been to Baltimore personally. You know what I mean? What's very significant when it comes to music in relation to, you know, your history or something you felt like that you let me see, let me reword that. What's significant when it comes to music, when it comes to Baltimore, to where you always took it with you when you moved on to New York, if that make any sense. Like,
Yeah,
did you
I still Baltimore is a part of me. Um, I can't forget where I came from, but I grew up in like both places. That's why people always ask, "Where are you from?" when they hear me talk, because I have somewhat of a Southern accent, but then I have that New York thing too. So it's all kind of mixed in together. So
right?
they um, but both places play a significant part of me. Yeah, I I I I I, I go. That's where I find my peace when I'm traveling with Roy and and just things is hectic and I need to just take a step back, I go to Baltimore, go to my grandparents' house and
Right.
just do nothing, go fishing, do
Mm,
everything other than music and
mm.
clear my head and reboot and then come back to New York. But yeah, Baltimore plays a significant part of me, still does. Now, my last show was in Baltimore, actually.
Oh, oh, nice, nice. So I'm just saying, like as a musician, when thinking of, because you most definitely a legend, you know what I mean. So when thinking of legends that came out of Baltimore, who is someone that you would name that people don't know when it comes to is it in the jazz field? Is there anyone else that's really
Um,
significant in the jazz?
yeah, well, the one person that comes to mind is Dennis Chambers. He's from
Okay,
Baltimore, and he played
and
with Parliament Funkadelic. He played
okay,
with Mike Stern. He played with everybody. He's from Baltimore. Yeah,
okay,
that's the most significant person I can think of from down there. And then there's a guy named Ray Gaskin who plays saxophone. He passed away, but he was from
okay.
Baltimore as well, and he was a good friend of mine. And he actually toured with me with Roy at a point.
Mm. Okay. So when going on to so when did you pick up the keyboard? And when did you find that you had a special talent when it came to a keyboard slash piano? Which was first?
Piano was first, and I started at about 5, 7, somewhere around there. And I was taking lessons and I played it, and I played by ear, and then I started taking lessons and playing classical music, and,
Mm,
and and I played classical music for a long time, and it wasn't until later in my high school years did I start playing jazz. But
mm,
I was playing classical for most of that time, and then I started playing jazz later, and then R&B, and I started doing all of that, and because that piqued my interest, and I wanted to connect more with my Black roots, which was R&B, jazz, hip hop, all of that, and I
mm.
wanted to tap into that.
Yeah, that's what's up right there. So what attracts you to the keys so much opposed to any other instruments? Because being in the classical realm of music, I'm sure you had opportunities to, tap into other instruments and stuff. And do you play any other instruments outside of the keyboard and piano?
I only learned how to play vibes. That's it. That's the only other instrument I can
Mm,
play. And that's
okay,
because of playing behind Roy and him
right.
showing me different things. And the vibes is set up just like the piano, only you hitting them with sticks instead of your fingers. Same,
Mm,
but it's set up the same way. So I immediately took an interest outside of piano. I took an interest to vibes once I started playing with Roy because I used to either set it up for him or help him set it up. So I was
right.
always and then later on, I was keeping them at my house because
Wow.
it was too hard for him to carry them with him. So,
Mm,
but no, I can play the vibes, but I
okay.
can't play like fast like I can play piano. I can't play,
Yeah.
but it's set up the same way. But no, what interests me in piano, my grandmother had a piano in her house. All my
Okay.
both sets of my grandparents always had a piano, so I was always getting on it. I always played it and messed around with it, so it always piqued my interest. And my mother was a piano player and music teacher. My father was a saxophone player and a Broadway musician, more of a classical musician. So
Okay.
that's kind of how a music thing just naturally happened with me.
Yeah, see now it's all making sense because I'm like, how do you just become this dedicated to, what I mean, to, starting off like you say at the tender age of 5 and keep going with it in your entire life. Because sometimes we do a lot of things as we young and we might like it or love it, but then we kind of get away from it and get to tear from
Oh yeah, yeah,
our
because everything gets a little difficult. Whatever it is you're doing, there gets to a point where it's like either you get over this hump or you say, let me do something else. I reached um, that stage at about 16 or 17 when all my friends were getting summer jobs and I wasn't able to get one. And for some reason, nobody hired me. I went everywhere, Burger King, McDonald's, nobody hired me. I couldn't believe it. And all my friends were getting hired. That's what made it real upsetting for me. So after coming home all upset, my father said, "Okay, well, your summer job will be playing piano, and and I'll pay you at the end of each week." That changed my life. And I mean, it was difficult because he was hard on me about it, but I wanted to have so much. I wanted to have my own money. I wanted to do it. So that was the motivation also. But it was a job. I had to sit at the piano from 9 to 5 every day. And he'd get me up at 8:30, get breakfast, and then I had to get on the piano. And he'd give me the things I had to learn to do each day and accomplish. And at noon, take a break. And if I don't have everything finished by 5, then there goes my Saturday. Now I can't go and play ball with my friends. I can't go play football, basketball, whatever sport I was doing at the season. But it was summertime, so there was a lot of things I could do. But if I didn't accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish between 9 and 5, then there go my Saturday. And but he paid me every week, and I did that throughout the whole summer. That was my summer job, playing piano, 8 hours a day. That's how I got to the. That's how I can play like I play.
Yeah, because like I say, you make it look so easy, and at the same time, something that's unfamiliar or uncommon is that you are holding a keyboard while playing the piano or a keyboard. Like at the same time, like I see you moving this with one hand and you got the other hand. Like, how do you do that, or when did that come
Oh, you
about?
talking about the guitar that I play, that white keyboard?
Yeah.
Oh, oh yeah. I had to work on that. That stayed home that stayed home for a while before I took it on the road with me. It's like I had to learn to play it like that. I had to practice, I had to practice. And but I knew I wasn't ready to bring it out on stage yet. So it stayed home with me for about good 2-3 months before anybody knew. Roy knew because he was with me when I got it. And he said, "We're gonna bring that little keyboard out." And I said, "I'll bring it out soon." Well, I didn't. It took me 3 months. He would ask me, "When you gonna bring that funny keyboard out?" But after I got good at it, then I was able. Once I learned that technique to play it like that, as opposed to like this, playing it this way, that's a whole nother thing. And then I learned. Then once I got it mastered, playing that way, I could play both. I could play the keyboard, the piano, and that at the same time. And it was natural to me after a while because I had to think about it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's dope, and that's a special skill. Like I've seen people, turn around and play the piano, or like them old black and white clips. You know what I'm saying? It was a
Yeah.
woman. I don't know exactly who everybody is, but she was like playing the piano backwards. It's like, so people have over the years, got a little fancy,
Yeah.
called hot saucing. Y'all was
Yeah.
hot. You was hot saucing is what you was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope though, man. I like that. I mean, you so decorated when it comes to skills and music. You know what I mean? Now, why is it that or what was the ambition behind learning how to play African music, the jazz? I know you say you want to get tapped in more with your roots, but I mean, you all over the board though. What was the ambition behind that, to where you was like, okay, I don't want to just learn this genre of jazz. I want to tap into this, and then you just kept going because
Yeah,
I believe that's kind of uncommon.
I was always interested. Music is music to me, and at the end of the day, all American music stems from Black music. So,
Amen.
Afri Black Black Americans, Black people started American music, and that goes all the way back to ragtime, slave trade, the spirituals, all that. So we started that Dixieland, everything. So that is there's a history, and then there's a history with America. But all of these genres have their own timeline: R&B, rock and roll, um, neo soul, all the way to hip hop and jazz. So I tapped into all of that, and then I was playing with this African group at one point in my
Mm,
career, and that was fun for me, and that taught me a whole nother thing. And then playing in my early years playing with Roy, he played a lot of salsa and really hard
mm.
stuff and Afrobeat because he played with Fela Kunte. I went to
Right,
Africa with
exactly.
Roy, went to
Yeah.
Nigeria with him, and I met Fela. This was in the early '90s. In fact, '91 to be specific. The same year I joined the band.
Wow. How powerful is that?
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Played at the shrine.
I'm sorry, excuse me. So at any point, again, being a really young man, 19, 20 years old, 21 years old, did you ever have moments to where it was like just overwhelming? The long road trips, touring with Roy, you know what I mean? Just the demand of being great and knowing that you got to be perfect every night. You playing with the king of vibes. You know what I'm saying? The pressure, was it any like pressure that came with anything like that? You
It
know,
did. It did. And everybody has their way of kind of trying to cope with it and handle it. But it did. I handled it. But yeah, it was pressure. But Roy was such an amazing individual, and he was like a father figure to me. And
mm,
it was I could share with him how I feel, and he was and he knew I was always eager to learn, and he knew I loved his music, and he knew I loved him, and
mm,
he knew I wanted to learn, and that was all. He knew I wasn't just doing it just for the money to make some money. No, he taught me geography because
mm,
I traveled the world with Roy. When I first played with him, I hadn't been that many places.
yeah.
But I traveled. I went to Japan with Belle Biv DeVoe and Jodeci and some of the R&B groups because I was doing that when I was in my early years of college, and would play the Budweiser Superfest in the summertime. So I did a lot of the R&B stuff, but I didn't really like doing that. I wanted to play jazz. But but when I played with Roy, we went everywhere, every last city in America, and all over Europe, multiple times. So Australia, Japan, Cuba. I mean, I can't think of any place I haven't been with him.
Mm,
Yeah,
wow.
so Japan, China, all over the world, and it'd be sell
Mhm.
out. And
How many?
sell out all over the world. Roy was amazing, and he was such a great individual. And people loved him on stage, off stage. He was he was the same person.
Yeah,
But
man. I
you,
bet you. How many passports did you go through, Roy?
oh my gosh, 10.
Wow.
Yeah, I have my 10th one that I just got, and I have to renew that in 2026.
That's special right there, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you name you was on tour at a young age with Belle Biv DeVoe, Jodeci. Like these aren't no small group names. Like these are legends in they field, and this the '90s too. Like they was hot, like they
Yeah,
was on
yeah,
fire. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
how big was those crowds? How big was that stage
Oh,
that
those
you
were
was on?
that was a whole different ball game. Those were stadiums. That
Yeah,
was very
exactly.
corporate. It was different. I didn't have to do nothing but learn my little part. I didn't have to do
Mm,
anything. Just get to they everything was just done for you on those kind of shows. Because I mean, you had somebody that does this for you. They set everything up. I didn't have to bring anything. Everything was set up, pre-programmed. All I had to do is show up and play my
mm,
part. The biggest thing I had to do was do those 8-hour rehearsals because those R&B groups, they rehearse 8 hours a day, every day.
right.
So I did that. It's just I we most of those gigs, I was one of like 4 keyboard players
Oh
or
wow.
one of 3 keyboard players, the minimum, because they wanted everything to sound exactly like the record. And
Mm,
a few some nuances, but for the most part, it was like the record. You know, it was it was it was a whole different kind of vibe playing the R&B scene, and I didn't do it. I just did it in the summertime at the time because I was still in school. But that's when most of those R&B tours went out anyway. Except for and except for like when Mary's 411 came out, I did
yeah.
the that they called them single dates, spot dates. So you do before the actual tour. I didn't do the tour with her, but I did some of the spot dates before the tour. So and I was just filling in for someone anyway, because one of the guys I was filling in for was playing with somebody else for a particular time, so I filled in for him. And then when he came back, and the rest was history. I wasn't playing with him anymore, and so yeah, I did that. It was a whole different vibe there doing that. But playing with Roy is when I just learned the whole world because I never went to Europe with none of those R&B groups, just in the States and
Yeah.
limited places.
Yeah, so when she recorded My Life, the remake, you know, the sample of Everybody Loves the Sunshine, was that on her album 411?
No, that
That
came
was that was later. Okay.
way later. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that came in 2000s. I don't remember the exact date, but no, 411 came out in the 90s.
Right. Okay. Absolutely. So yeah, sometimes, you know, like you just mentioned about being in the stadium versus like say a promontory here in Chicago or the city winery that's located all across the country, you know, where people can kind of tune in and critique you more because it's a smaller environment, but it's still a respected stage, you know what I mean, versus
Yeah,
being in the stadium, you know, where like you say, you amongst other keyboardists, you know what I mean? What's that energy like and what do you prefer?
I prefer playing jazz. I prefer because even with Roy, we played a lot of theaters. I mean, we played big theater. We
Right.
played big theaters all over the states. We played the Kennedy Center. We played
Mm,
Carnegie Hall twice. So we
wow.
played. I played big um, theaters with Roy. And when we did Africa, that was a big theater. So I mean, a
Yeah.
stadium. That was a stadium. So I've played some big places with Roy as well, and Glastonbury in England. That was a huge, big
Mm,
stadium kind of vibe. So but I prefer playing more improvisational music as opposed to playing the same thing, the same part. If as one of 4 keyboard players, and the only thing I have to play is ba da ba ba da, and that's all I play for that
right.
song throughout the song, and I do that
Wow.
every night. Yeah, it drives me crazy. Because I, 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 it was fun. I was young. It was an experience, but
Right.
I wanted to play. So Roy gave me an opportunity to actually play and improvise. That's what was my interest is playing jazz, doing more improvised music. That
Mm.
was what I was more interested in doing.
Okay. So I'm gonna jump around a little bit. I hope you don't mind.
No, go
Um,
ahead.
yeah. I got a couple of my peoples just tuned in. Earlier. This is my guy, good friend of mine. Shout out to Mac Boss. Salute, brother. Thanks for tapping in. Definitely make sure you share this video. I have my sister. I have my sister on the line too. You know what I mean? She's tapped in. She says, yeah, jazz is a whole vibe. And that's most definitely true. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Every genre has its own type of, feel, gives you that different tingle in your spine when you hear it. And that's what jazz does for me. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Because it's in so many areas of the music, like the ones that you tap into. Now, can we kind of jump around real quick and tell me about a little bit about the meaning behind that title? I forgot to what is it? It's a tongue twister. I want to say it right.
I
There's a
forgot
title
to
like
remember
I
I
forgot to
forgot to
remember to
remember
forget.
to forget. Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's some double talk right there. What you was on, man? Like what's that? What's that about, Mark?
Oh,
I forgot to remember to what to forget.
I
Wait, I
forgot to
forgot to remember to forget.
yeah.
What's that mean?
That's the latest record I did. I have a new
Yeah.
record coming out in May, at the
Okay.
end of May, and that's going to be nice too. But that last record, that's the one that features Roy Ayers and Ron Carter.
Oh,
I
okay.
forgot to remember to forget. I called it that because I was going through things, and there's certain things that some things happen, and you dwell on it instead of saying, I should have forgot about this. I should have
Mhm.
forgot about that. And then there's certain things that are substantial that maybe you should remember, or certain components of that. So sometimes things negative, um, I'm holding on to and saying, oh, I forgot to let that go. I forgot to remember to
Mm.
forget about that. I forgot to remember to forget about that. So
Yeah,
so so that's
dude.
that's where it came. That's why I did. That's why I called it that. And I was getting ready to change the title because everybody was teasing me about it, saying, "Mark, that's too long. You can't put no title out like that. What's wrong with you?" And but my producer said, "Yeah, I like it. Let's go with it." And that's why we did it, because I was really going to change it. He was like, "No, that's too long. That's definitely too many words for a CD cover." But no, we made it work. Um,
Yeah, no, I agree with my sister. She said it makes sense. I love it. And totally, what I mean. She also says society will make you think you need to remember BS, but you really need to forget it.
yeah, exactly,
Yep, that way.
exactly. Certain things
Yeah,
you
they
gotta
try to.
just let go. And sometimes you have to remind yourself. And then sometimes it's too late. And that's when you say, "Oh, I forgot to remember to forget about that shit." So
Mhm. Yeah, man, there's so much programming in every field and in everything, you know what I'm saying?
yes,
In classroom, everything, you know what I'm saying? They try to
everything.
make you think a certain type of way.
Exactly.
Um,
Yeah, it's
and I
way
love that,
beyond music.
I'm sorry, what did
I
you say?
said it's way beyond music.
Yeah, absolutely. It's ingested into this into America, into the
Yeah,
world. You
yeah,
know, it's an agenda. It's a definitely an agenda. But
yeah.
what led to you becoming a lecturer and wanting to, be a part of York College, University in New York? You know what I mean? What's your because I mean again, you already was very successful at everything that you're doing, but why did you feel like, you wanted to teach the students and teach the younger generation?
I the opportunity came my way to teach part-time, and I started teaching part-time, and then it gave me stability also, because when you're playing music, you can um you can make some good money for 2 months straight, but then you got 2 months where you ain't making nothing.
Mm,
And
yeah.
um
Yeah.
and I
Plain
went
B.
through, because the early part of my career, I was only making my living through music only. That was it. And I did that for many years. So when the opportunity came and I had conversation with my dad, and and then the opportunity came around to first I was teaching this at this after school program that my dad hooked me up with, and I saw the difference between still going on the road even when I couldn't teach because I had to go on the road. I always could put somebody in the sub for me, so it was always cool. So I did that, and then when the opportunity at your college came, it's hard. It's hard to just for a black person to teach on the college level. That's already
Mm,
difficult. That's already difficult. And so I when that opportunity came, um, I took it, and even though I was part time, I still took it. And I was traveling, and I would take off, and when I had to travel, but I still held on to it since '98 consistently. And
yeah, that's unbelievable.
about 7 years ago, they offered me the full time position, and I took it.
Mm,
And it was still fine for me to travel, but I had to make a decision because my daughter was getting older, and I needed to be around a lot more. And that's because she was getting ready to get into high school. I said, you know what? Let me get some kind of stability for sure. So that's because I raised my daughter myself. So it was I had to um, um, be there more and to be home more and not just have my mom help me out all the time. So I said I'm gonna take this full time position so I could be there for my daughter, especially when she got into high school. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna take this position. And I actually did it when she moved with me. That's personal, She had issues with her mom, and her mom wanted her to move out of New York, and she didn't want to move out of New York, and just a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, she said she wanted to live with her daddy, so I said, um,
mhm.
my mom said, "Come, your daughter want to live with you, so come get her." I said, "Okay." I was there, and I came in and picked my daughter up. She has her own room. She has everything she needs right here, and plus, and then it gave her the opportunity to travel with me. So that was fun. So
Okay.
took her
With
all
her
over.
being I'm
Huh?
sorry, excuse me. I'm sorry,
No,
excuse me. So with her being a daddy's girl and wanting to be with you more or less, is she also musically inclined?
she was for a minute, but she's more of an athlete. She's in the track. That's her thing.
Okay.
But she's
That's my
she's she has perfect pitch. That's what's interesting. But
okay.
she can sing. But
Nice.
she's more into track. That's her thing. So she's in college now. But when she moved with me, she was in seventh grade because when me and my ex broke up, we had joint custody anyway. So she was with me half the time and with her mother half the time. And then when that didn't work out, she moved with me, and then her mother left town. So that was crazy. But
Mm,
anyway, life circumstances, you got to move on. And she was more important than me worrying about that. So I was focusing on my daughter. But that's why I took the full time position because I needed to be here a little bit more, and I would turn down some of the European tours with Roy during that
mm.
period, during that transitional period. Sometimes I took my daughter with me, but in the beginning, at least those first 2 years she was with me, I, um, I was mostly teaching and doing limited shows with Roy at that time.
Yeah, man. I mean, we sometimes men who raise children, being a single parent alone is difficult enough, especially when you have a career performing artist, you know what I mean? When they say struggling artist, struggling musician, that's real, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's a real term. That's
it
a
is
real
a real
terminology.
term. I had my
You know,
mom. My mom helped me a lot, and my cousin, she lives in New York, and her daughter and my daughter grew up together. So she, when I would go on the road and travel, my daughter would either stay with my mom or she'd stay with my cousin, or sometimes I'd take her with me, depending on where I was going and how many places I had to go. So, but I made it work. I made it work.
yeah, that's what we got to do, man. You know what I mean? No excuses, right? In life, just gotta step up. You know what I mean? Especially when you have another mouth to feed. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
You know, I can't relate to that. You know what I mean? I don't have no children yet, still, but you know, I can't imagine how it is. You know, to be traveling the world. You know, have the responsibility of teaching students at the level of being a professor in college, a lecturer, and you know what I mean. On top of that, you know, you have to be a parent and you know
Yeah,
be able to be open minded to you know the learning
exactly.
curve that she's
And, and,
going
and,
through.
and all of that keeps you grounded because, when you're traveling, I'm with Roy Ayers. Everything,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm with Roy Ayers. Anything I want, I can get. Anything. And there's always people catering to every last need. So I um but what happens to my daughters, I'm daddy. That's it. Daddy, can you
Right.
make breakfast? You gonna make breakfast? Can you make some waffles? I mean, she don't care about me being Mark Adams and doing this or doing that. That doesn't matter to her,
Right.
and I love it. It shouldn't. I should be just daddy to her, and that's what I always have been. So yeah, that's it's more important to me than everything.
Now, with her being a vocalist, do you have music coming with her, or have you all already recorded music together?
Oh no, she's a vocal, but she's not into music like that. No, she's
Oh,
into
okay.
track. No, she's not.
Okay.
She's really not good. Maybe when because she's away at college now, but she
Mhm.
wants to transfer from the college she's at in
Mhm.
Pennsylvania back to New York. So she being that she's older, she might get into music a little bit more. I'll see. I'll see.
That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Um, so many. So let's talk about a little bit about you know some of these books that you've written, which is you know you also teach at York College. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you
Yes.
start off with basics, a new comprehensive approach to learning the basics. So to music theory. So that was the first book,
Yes. And then I did a volume 2 of that book. And
volume
and
two.
and 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 then I did the piano method book. Now that the first book, it was a theory book. It teaches you how to read music, it teaches you theory, it teaches you how to improvise, and it teaches you how to play piano. So
Oh, okay,
it
nice.
teaches all of those things. It teaches all of those things.
So
And
even me, a person who has no um skill level when it comes to you know a piano, keyboard, nothing like that, I should be able to you know read that book and study that book and know you know the basics of how to play and to know more about music.
oh, absolutely, absolutely, yeah. Especially the latest book. The last book is called Piano Magic Method, and the
Piano
subtitle
magic
is
method.
Learn to play piano in one day, and you really can,
What?
because that's how I teach my students. I have students at your college who've never played piano before, and by the end
Mm.
of that first class, they're playing. And
Oh no.
yeah, they're playing little
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, they're not gonna play no Beethoven, but they're gonna play some little
Right.
stuff, and it'll sound nice.
Mm. And mentioning Beethoven, I'm glad you mentioned him for it. That was definitely on my list to ask because you know when you think of pianos and stuff like that, you know people are associated that with Beethoven. You know what I mean? Now, was Beethoven really that good? Because we know about that one song, you know what I'm saying, that,
Yeah.
when people associate it, and like that's an excellent sound, you know what I'm saying, the sound that he was projecting with the keys. But, was Beethoven, like, how good was Beethoven, and how good is other people just as well as Beethoven that they don't talk about?
They were all great. It's a whole different era. That's Europe. I mean, I went to the Beethoven house when I was in Europe with Roy, and there's a whole museum, all his pianos and everything. I went to the Mozart house. Mozart was excellent. Bach, all of those cats, all of those. Those are classical musicians. That's written music.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
difference between Europe music and American music, which is basically black music, is the component of improvisation. So
Mm. Hey, you just got a book sale. My sister said I'm gonna get the book and we gonna learn together, Mike. We gonna learn to play, Mike. Hey, I'm with you, Don. I'm about that life because I've always wanted to actually learn how to play the piano. I just hasn't been disciplined enough to stick with it. You know, I just was never disciplined enough to, to do it. You know what I
It's
mean?
good for your soul. I had a guy years ago. He was a police officer. The people thought I was always getting in trouble because he was just a
Yeah,
friend of mine, but he was a cop. But he would come
yeah.
because he was taking piano lessons with me. So before he
Oh wow.
started his duty, before he started his shift, he would come over in his whole uniform and park his police car in front of my house and come in and take piano lessons with me. And then he'd leave. He'd do before
Wow.
his shift or after his shift. And I had a doctor who's a surgeon, rather, who used to do the same thing. He got a little piano and put it in his office and would play these little songs before he went to do surgery. It's good for the soul. It doesn't matter what level you're on. It's no such thing as a level when it comes to
Mm.
music. It's just something nice to do, and it's good for the soul. It's an outlet, and we need outlets.
Now I love that you said that and explained it that way. It definitely relieves pressure. Um, from the of trying to learn. You know what I mean? It's inspiring actually. Um, when it comes to just music, when you write your own music, do you have a picture that you're trying to paint in a person's mind, or a particular something you're trying to create within a person? Like, I don't know, like me
Mhm.
with poetry. You know what I mean? I obviously I have a message behind what I'm saying,
Yeah, I like
because
that.
those are words, but this is music. So is there like a particular picture you try to paint, or do you have something in mind when you writing your music and you play them keys and you creating?
I hear melodies in my head, and
Okay.
if I hear a melody, if I hear it enough in my head, then I go to the piano and I bang it out, and or I hear chord changes, and then I develop that into a melody. But I always hear it first in my head, and then I'll develop it, and that's how I do it. Roy, and that's what makes Roy a genius because he does it the way I do it, but also he would go in the studio and just create right there.
What?
Just build, just start playing chords here and there and there and there, and then come up with the lyrics right there. And see, I can't do it like that. I don't have that
Yeah.
genius that he
Yeah.
had. But he would go into the studio. I mean, just think about it. He wrote "Everybody Loves the Sunshine" on the spot
Yeah.
in the studio. I was in the
Wow.
studio so many songs that I was in the studio with on different records I played on with him, where he would say, "Mark, just play this A minor, D minor, G minor, C7, or whatever." He just tell me chords, and and um and then he'd count it off. Done, two, three, dun, 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 whatever it is, and we do it. And then as it's playing back, he's thinking of different things. And next thing you know, he's singing some stuff on it. So incredible, incredible, incredible. So people go about writing music different kind of ways.
That's really dope right there. Is there a particular song that he wrote on the spot or in the studio that you can recall? Because he had obviously million, like a lot of hits, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hits.
Yeah, Roy
Um,
had 87 records.
yeah, that's incredible. Like that don't even make like that isn't that seems unbelievable actually. You know what I'm saying? To record 87 records, like
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
right.
I think
And that's like
the only person who did that many or close to that many would be James Brown and probably Miles Davis. That's about it.
mm, that's a heck of a company to be upon amongst.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Wow, that's amazing right there. So, when it comes to yourself, do you believe that you possessed a greater determination versus a natural gift that has helped brought you this far?
Huh. That's a good question. I I um I have a um I have an inner determination to to um to play and to perform and to entertain. And that's pretty much my inspiration and my drive is to I want to play, I want to perform, and every time I hit the stage, I perform like it's the last notes I'm gonna ever play again. So I give
Mm,
it all. So I I I, I don't need anything to not at this stage, not even at once I'm around Roy, and that's being around greatness. You learn to be great, and it just comes naturally to you to just watch somebody great, and you're around this great person all the time. Um,
yeah.
it can't help but to rub off, and you go about your stuff a little bit differently. Everybody does, but um, you don't think about it. You
Mm,
play music, you write music. The one thing Roy kept telling me all the time is continue to innovate. So that's what I'm
mm.
doing, and that
Okay, I
has
like
nothing to do with music. Come up with it if you got an idea, just like you have your magazine and you have your show, and that's innovation. Black people need
mm,
to constantly innovate. Everything that we do out here um, is an innovation. We innovate things, and then it's out there, and then they're going to be the people who copy it. We know who they are. So,
mhm.
but 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 we want to innovate, and that's what Roy taught me. That's what I teach my daughter. That's what I teach my students. We constantly innovate, come up with an idea, make it happen. You think you can
Mm,
do this company, then figure out how to do it. And because the hardest thing to do out here is to start some shit, you know.
yeah,
Once you get it started, then you see the finish line. Just the start thing is the hard thing.
yeah, no, absolutely, man. With that being said, because you do so much and you have a lot on your shoulders, and it might not seem like to you, like my thing is, my saying is no pressure. Like I try to remind people, like, man, no pressure, and people be like, man, you doing too much, Mike. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it. Like it's not. I'm not doing too much. I feel like I could do more. You know what I mean? Do you feel like it's well? Obviously, I feel like that we have that in common. I feel like you always feel like you can do more as well because you keep doing more. You know what I'm saying? You keep, what I'm saying, you writing books, what I'm saying, lecture, performing, continuing to educate yourself in the realm of music. You know what I mean? You still pushing yourself. So when times do get rough, because you are a human being still at the end of the day, what do you do to overcome, stress, to stay
um,
focused?
I I don't allow myself. It's hard to, I can be very laid back, and I don't allow myself to get worked up over things that I have no control over. So and then the other thing is we're not defined by our circumstances. So that's another important thing. So I try to keep everything in perspective, because I've lost some very close people in my life, and the one thing I learned from going through having a loss is while you're here, make the most of it, because in the words of Roy Ayers, life is just a moment. So you gotta make the most of it while you're here, and do the most, and know that there are no limitations as to what you can do, as long as you don't set any for yourself, and as long as you don't allow others to set any for you, and as long as you understand your own true reality, and work from there. And I feel, knowing that God is the source of your supply, all of our needs are constantly being met, because there's a divine surplus. So I just feel we're fine, and I don't stress over little things. You got your health, you good. So everything else you can. There's a component, you can figure it out. There's always a fixable component to anything, finances, anything. You can figure it out. But your health, that's it. That's the main big thing, because then you can't figure that out. Now you have no control over how to fix that. So that's called perspective to me. So no, that's why I don't worry about nothing. I don't worry about nothing at all. Just worry about, only thing I was worried about, like I told you earlier, is I had laryngitis this morning. I was gonna call you and say, man, I can't do this tonight, because I really did. I couldn't talk, but I was drinking tea all morning, and I started feeling better, and I can talk now. But yeah, I had a cold. It was bad.
Yeah, man, I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through right now, but I'm definitely grateful that you pushed through it, and you just kept your enthusiasm, what I mean, to even be here, because I'm over excited to have you here, what I mean. I've had the pleasure not just now interviewing you for the second time, actually.
Yeah,
I interviewed you
we
about,
did a nice one. I remember the first time.
Yeah, that was like 3 years ago, though. Really,
Yep.
that was 2022.
Yep.
Yep. So
Yep.
time fly, man, and just being able to, I even performed for you one day. You know what I'm saying? I had spit one
Yep.
of my poems backstage. I don't know if you remember
I
that.
remember that. I remember that. And I've seen some of the things you've posted. You're good.
Yeah.
And
No, I appreciate it,
maybe
brother.
we should record something together.
Hey, I'm about that life, and at the same time, I'll be more than humbled, man. Always, because this is something that I love. I love my poetry. You know what I mean? I just like, it's about the message.
Now
It's all about
let me
the
put
message.
some music on some of your poetry. Let me put some music, and you do your poetry um behind it, and release something. I think that'd be nice. Maybe we'll make a point of doing that next time I come to Chicago. I'm working on coming there soon.
Hey, man, that'll be love, brother. You know what I'm saying? Because my whole thing is that's the one thing that I've always wanted to do, but I never always said I was going to do, and I never done. Is I never recorded my poetry. I've performed for 20 some years. I've been writing for 30 years, but I never actually recorded my own poetry, you know what I mean? But I'm very comfortable, obviously, behind the mic. I can perform in
Yeah,
front of anybody.
I
That don't
I
bother me.
I know folks in Chicago. We can go somewhere and just drop it down, and take it from there. Yeah, that's something put in the back of your mind. Just do one
Yeah,
song, and release it. It's
yeah,
out there. It's out there for the world, and then it's there forever.
yeah, man. I'd be grateful, man. That'll be dope. You know, with that being said, what do you have planned that you coming to Chicago for? Do you have a show? You gonna be at
Yeah,
the
I have a
promontory
show.
too?
I'm doing, like I told you, I'm doing this tribute show to Roy Ayers.
Right,
So
right. Let's
I'm
talk about that.
doing it all over the country. So
Oh, okay.
I'm doing Atlanta, and then I am doing um I'm doing yeah, that's the one I just did in Baltimore. But I'm doing Atlanta, and then I'm doing Chicago, and then this I'm doing the Louisville Jazz Festival this summer in August,
Nice.
August 1st actually. Um Opening up for Brian Culberson, and then I'm doing the King Center in Columbus, Ohio. I got a bunch of dates. I'm coming all over the place with this show because I want to keep his legacy going.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then my new record's coming out also. That's and So all of those things I'll be doing, either Mark Adams or the Voyeurs tribute, but they're all gonna be intertwined, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm gonna um be out here playing Roy's music and playing my own music. I'm mixing both of them things together. So definitely going to be doing that everywhere. So
Yeah, that's pretty powerful. That sounds like a powerful
yeah,
tour that you
it's probably going to be at the if it comes up soon, it'll probably be at the City Winery. But my manager is out of town right now, so um but one of my agents is booking things. But once he gets back, I'll know what's already lined up. So I'll definitely let you know. But Chicago is definitely on the table. So I'll find out as soon as possible when I come out there.
Absolutely. I'm going to go out my way to open up my schedule so I can be there to come
I
support,
hope so.
what I mean, and just
Yeah.
reconnect with you, brother, what I'm saying? It's always a pleasure. You know what I mean? I think that's when we actually took our only picture
Yes.
to kind of
Remember
being
that?
just us. Yeah, it's right here actually. I got it
Yes.
on deck though.
Oh
This
my
was
gosh.
this was City Winery, ain't it?
Yep. That
That's a
was
City
dope.
Winery.
That was a
Yeah,
nice night, man. I remember that. That was
yeah,
fun.
man. Y'all threw down on stage like always, man. Y'all
Yeah.
never disappoint. You and Roy. Y'all was a match made. You know what I mean? In heaven when it comes to that music, man. For real, like y'all really complimented each other. Despite he was already who he was, but what some people don't give you the credit for is because of you are who you are with your spirit, your energy, you telling your story. You telling like why, how you became, with your determination. You actually was a great compliment to Roy, even as he continued to, get become the genius that he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it's
exactly.
just really dope, man.
Yeah.
Y'all had great chemistry, is what I'm saying, man.
Oh
Great
no,
chemistry.
no, we do. Yep.
Yeah. Look at that, man. That's what I see
Nasty
him
picture.
doing right now. Like he admires you. Like you said, he a father figure, but you could tell that he looking at you like a son figure. Most definitely,
Yeah,
like just proud of you right there, man. That's
yeah,
special.
yeah. That was special. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yep.
Is there
Classic.
is there a particular because I mean you've done thousands of shows, since 1991 you've done thousands of shows
Thousands and
with Roy.
thousands of shows. Yeah.
Yeah, thousands amongst thousands of shows. Is there a particular set of shows or a particular country y'all was in or something that really stands out in your mind when you were performing with Roy?
Oh my gosh. There's so many great shows. But I remember, and this was the year I joined him, and
Mm,
and the 1991, and we were playing a place called Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit, and
okay.
we before we went on stage, we got the news that Miles Davis had just died,
Damn.
and you know, Roy got the electric vibes, right? So he can
Right.
change sounds. So he changed the sound on one of his
Mm,
songs. I think we were doing Sunshine, and he changed the
mm,
sound to take a solo, but he changed the sound to a muted trumpet, so it sounded
mm,
like Miles,
mm.
and he sounded like Miles, and he just did just an incredible solo on the
Like an
vibes.
improv. He improv.
Yeah, he was improvising on with the trumpet sound, sounding like Miles
Wow.
Davis. It was incredible. Oh my
Wow.
gosh, it was incredible. Oh my, that goes way back. I was a kid, but other than that, all the shows. There's never been a bad show with Roy. I mean, all of them been fantastic. I mean, all of them. Um, all the shows, every show. I can't. That one stands out because of that situation and because I never heard him do that and change his sound like that.
Yeah.
And then he kept doing it. He did it. He did it for like the rest of that year. But
Oh, wow.
but yeah, he all of the shows they all have certain special moments every show. Every show. You playing the same songs, but that's what makes it jazz because you're playing the same songs. But there's certain nuances that you end up doing this night that you didn't do last night. Play Sunshine a little bit differently this night than you
Mm,
did 2 nights ago. So there's always different nuance because of um, the whole component of improvisation. So it's always new and fun. Energy's different each time. So so we we um we I can't think of any one show. No, all of them were incredible.
was you there when Flavor Flav was on stage? Y'all was like in another country. You know what I'm talking about?
I didn't do that tour. No,
Okay.
I I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah.
No, my
I saw the
guys did.
picture.
Yeah, I was in the picture.
No, no. I said I remember the picture. I'm sorry. No. I remember the picture of Flavor Flav and Roy Ayers. That was powerful. Just coming from totally two different worlds. Again, like let me take this moment as he's having some technical issues, to remind you all to please share this video if you haven't already shared it. Thanks again, everyone that's tuning in right now. We still have a lot of interview to go. I'm just going to be patient, until he's able to come back. But I'm throw a couple of pictures up. For those that didn't know, Roy Ayers produced this entire album. Yes, the soundtrack. Like, who knew? If you didn't know, now you know. Like, that's who Roy Ayers was. Like, just incredible. You know, yeah, don't worry, Mark, he'll be back soon. He just had some technical issues, got kicked off. But yeah, please let me use this, share some of these pictures, man. This is Mark, Roy Ayers, and some of the band, you know, who knows where in the world they are. This could be anywhere in the world. You know what I mean? Because that's how far their reach was, it was global. They had a global reach. What I'm saying, being when I say what, be it, being Roy, but Mark is still a global musician. He still travels the world. You heard him say earlier, if you didn't hear, he on his 10th passport. Look, this is another great picture of him and Roy. Yeah, man, they was very close, very close. Yep, he just told me, he just texted me, said he logging back in, his computer died. Yep, so he'll be right back. But again, share this video. Full circle. Peace to you. Love it. Peace, Queen. How you doing? Thanks for tuning in the know 360. Yes. Look forward to having you on the show tomorrow on the square table. Yep. Here's another great picture of Mark and Roy. Yeah, man. You see it, man. That's love, man. You know, we all gonna miss Roy. You know, I had some great pictures with him myself. This is a really classic picture right here. Shout out to Dude and them, aka Millman, aka the Mill, who took this picture, man. We was actually at Chicago State University. I remember, man, like it was yesterday. You know, we was at Chicago State University. Yes, sir. Yeah, Mark, I was sharing some pictures, you know what I mean? Welcome back. You know,
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about that.
oh no, no problem. Was you here at Chicago State University when he performed that day?
Yeah, I was
At
there.
this
Yep.
okay, absolutely. Yeah, man. I was telling him like this is one of my this is when Roy did that drop for me.
Oh,
So man,
really?
really, really special night. Yeah, man. I had, you know, a closed mouth don't get fed, right? So I just went on and was like, hey, you know what I mean? Bridget, you think shout out to Bridget, you know what I mean? Let me show her some love real quick because if it wasn't for Bridget, I wouldn't have had the pleasure of knowing you. I wouldn't have had the pleasure of ever being in the presence of Roy, you know, Uncle Frank. Shout out to Uncle Frank
Right.
Chapman. You know, all of you all, man, just so great. You know, has so much history, and because of her, who has a lot of history herself, you know, working with the
Yep.
magazine, that's how I had the pleasure of being in you all's company. So, you know what I mean? That's something I never take for granted of. You know, I never forget. So I just love the memories, man.
Yeah. No, that was great. That was great. I remember those times. It was great times. Great times.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm glad to have you just have you here, man. You know, now when you're not cooking waffles for your daughter and spending time with your daughter, you know, what else would Mark be doing that you know people don't know that you that you enjoy
uh, I like
outside of music?
I like going to movies. That's my
Okay,
pastime. Any kind of movies. I like to be entertained. That's my
right.
entertainment. Going to movies, going to shows, and then of course hanging out with my daughter, going anywhere because we would always do movie night, and and I, being that my daughter's older, because but that's it. That's it. I might start dating again. You know, I might start getting into that scene a little bit at some point.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah, you deserve it, man.
yeah,
Every man deserves a
but
good woman.
yeah, but that's it. I'm just focusing on the music, teaching, making sure my daughter's cool, and and those are my priorities. But for my pastime, watching
Yeah,
movies, watching whether
right.
I go to
Okay,
the movies or I'm home watching movies, because that I like to be entertained, and what I don't like is uh, um I don't I watch any kind of movie, any kind of, I don't like going to shows. Like I don't go to see this person play because now
yeah,
that's not entertainment to me. That now I'm working because now I'm listening to this guy saying, "Oh,
mhm,
what are they playing? Oh, what kind of chord is that? Oh," I'm
right, right,
figuring
right.
things out. I'm thinking. So it's watching a live show is not the same as watching a movie and getting caught up in the whole movie. I like movies. That's my thing. That's my biggest thing. Movies, theater, anything of that nature. That's
Okay,
entertaining for me.
okay. On the fly, give me your top three movies.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me.
Your top
Oh
three, like even it doesn't even matter. Like this can be your go-to. Like we always like me. I'll
man.
say this: The Last Dragon. That's my go-to. Like The Last Dragon, Bruce Leroy. If that come on any time of the day, if I got time today, I'm gonna watch that. Like I don't care that I know it by heart, like the back of my hand. That's my all-time favorite movie. You know what I'm saying? It holds special memories for me. So what's your top three movies
Oh my
that
gosh,
you
that's a
love?
great question. I was not ready for that because I watched so many movies.
Right.
Oh, Um, I tell you one that sticks out is Pulp Fiction.
Pulp
And
Fiction. Okay, I wouldn't have never thought.
yeah, that was entertaining for me.
Yeah.
It was kind of strange, but it was entertaining.
Right.
I've watched some newer movies that just came out that were good. Oh man, I said it. I can't think of the top three. Oh my gosh, that like whenever it comes on, you're gonna watch it.
Okay, I'll make it a little easier. No pressure, no pressure. Name your 3 top actors that where you see them in new movies, you be like, okay, I gotta check that movie out because I like this actor or actress. Tell me that.
I can do that. I can do that. Okay.
Okay.
Anything Denzel's in,
Right.
Forrest Whitaker,
You're right.
Samuel L. Jackson, and I like Mark Wahlberg. I like him.
Yeah, he's a good actor too.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many. Oh my gosh, I wasn't prepared for this one. I love it.
What about an actress? What about an
The
actress? Who's
actress.
your top actress?
Um, I like the I don't remember her name who played in Empire. Um,
Oh, Taraji.
yeah, I like my she played in Fences. What's her name? She played
Oh,
in
Is that Viola?
Viola
Is that
Davis. Yeah, yeah. Anything she's in, I'm gonna check out.
okay.
Um, uh, you're gonna make me go back and look at because I watch movies so much. You have no
Yeah,
idea. My
yeah.
spare time, if I'm not practicing and I got
Yeah,
spare time, that's what like I was healing today. What was I doing
right,
watching movies? Because I don't
right.
watch the news because right now we have a government that's no longer governing, just crossing the line. So
Mm,
we
that way.
I can't watch that shit right now. But we just have to be prepared and know. So I prefer to focus on the music and then just be entertained. But I'm not gonna have my head in the sand. It's crazy shit going on. But no,
Yeah,
you got me with the whole movie thing. Now I'm gonna come up with that. Remember that movie Chris Rock did?
yeah.
Because he's one of my favorite actors too. And what's the short dude? He was in Jumanji. I like him. Kevin Hart.
Oh, Kevin Hart. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he was good. I like
yeah.
him.
He's funny.
I watch a lot of his movies. Yeah, I like it's so many movies. There's so many
Yeah, I
movies.
know, right?
I
And
just
with
and
the independent platform like Tubi and stuff, like movies come out back to back to back to back.
I
Like it's
know. I just checked that out. I just learned about that. My daughter turned me on to that. Tubi and
yeah,
free.
Prime. Oh,
No.
freebie.
Is it called Freebie or Free
I,
TV? Something like that.
yeah, freebie. I don't watch freebie. I watch Tubi.
I watched Tubi.
Yeah, I like Tubi.
Freebie. Yeah.
Oh, Free V. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never
Freebie.
really checked them out, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
know of it
checked
though.
both of them out.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
I
No,
watch
man.
everything, anything that comes out. I like movies. I like being entertained with that. That's like my pastime for sure. Um,
If you played in a movie, what type of character would you like to play? Hey, you said we was gonna have fun today, right, man? This is your word. I'm gonna hold you to that because I said it. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you know, if I were to play a character in a movie,
Yeah,
um, I wouldn't mind playing um, one of my go-to when you start talking about top five. This
yeah.
one comes to mind. Um, Denzel and More Better Blues,
Mm, okay.
and then I wouldn't mind playing what was that? What was that movie? I wouldn't mind being one of those characters or a whole brand new character in
Yeah.
Jumanji.
What? In Jumanji? Okay.
Yeah, just doing some crazy shit. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
doing that. And I'm gonna give you one more. I'll give you
Okay.
one.
Okay.
Give you one more. One of those superhero movies. Any one of them.
Mm,
Even if it's a brand new superhero, I'm gonna feel like flying. Let's see
okay.
what that feel like.
Man, you're looked at as a superhero though, man. The way that you play them keys, you be holding the keyboard on the strap, and then you playing with the other hand, and you doing this. That's some superhero type of stuff right there. This is super incredible, man. For real, man. That's fantastic. You have a fantastic talent, and that's why I call you virtuoso.
Like
You know what I
that.
mean? You are definitely a virtuoso, man.
I
Um,
appreciate that.
you are
I
so
like how
great,
you
man.
put the whole advertisement together. And I shared it. Everybody been loving it. So I hope people are tuning in.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. Much respect, man. It's out of respect. I do it. You know what I mean? I just kind of try to feel people out. You know what I mean? And I've had the pleasure, like I say, meeting you on many, many occasions over the years. Um, I don't know what year, I had the chance of meeting you, but it's been a while. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I've joined the magazine. I was with Bridge Magazine since 2003.
I
You know what I'm
know.
saying?
I
So,
know.
yeah.
And what's his name? Bridget says she's getting ready to do a Roku channel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but no, I'm glad that no the magazine, y'all doing great things. It's
Yeah,
really,
man. I just reunited with her with the magazine because I had kind of stepped away a little bit out of the respect to I wanted to, do my own magazines and stuff. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
wanted to see what I can do with my platform more and put more energy into doing this. And that's how I've grown this show. You know what I'm saying? On
yeah,
Bridge
yeah,
Magazine.
yeah, yeah. And you've been interviewing a lot of people. I checked it out.
Yeah, yeah, man. I've
So
been
that's why I feel
blessed.
honored that you keeping me in mind to do it. I'm
Yeah,
glad
no,
you do
it's always good to have a repeat return people that are
it. Yeah,
return
yeah,
guests. You want and open to be a return guest. Like not everybody, what I mean, will want to be a return guest. And because I used to be like Mark, like, because I was so ambitious with the interviews. I'm like, there's so many great people out here. I
yeah,
wanna I was trying to avoid doing repeats, but what happened was I had two powerful people that's been on the show that has passed who wanted to be on the show again, but I kind of like, what I mean, I beat myself up for this all the time because, what I mean, I kind of was like, I don't want to say sent them off. I loved them, appreciated them, but I was thinking like, okay, I got to get another guest for my audience. I got to get another big celebrity. I got to get, opposed to just appreciating the people that want to be part of what you do. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Yeah,
Well,
man.
well, you kept your word because we talked just checking in on each other. I forget when, but it was a while back, and
Yeah,
I told you I want to do another interview with you. We should do another one, and I was
yeah,
telling you what I'm doing and what I plan on doing, and you kept your word and we hooked it up. That was nice. I'm glad we did it and connected because
yeah, man. I'm
everybody's
grateful.
time is tough.
Yeah, man. And with your schedule all over the place, I mean, you global. You know what I'm saying? I'm local. You global, like I said.
You're a little bit
My
more than
platform is,
local. You're a
you
little
know what I'm
bit
saying?
more
Like
than
you're
local.
globally known talent. You know what I'm saying? So to get your time, you know what I mean? That's the hardest part. To get on
Yeah,
your schedule.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I understand, but um, this is teaching time for me anyway. So I'm gonna
Right.
be. The one thing, once I took the full-time position, I didn't do a lot of touring in the middle of the semester, and I'm in the middle of my semester, even though I have spring break going on, because Roy used to plan his tours around my schedule, my teaching schedule. He respected it. And the ones that he couldn't do, sometimes I would just do them anyway, because I never turned down a trip to Japan with him. So we went there about 10 times. I was always there, even if it was in the middle of my semester. I just took off. I canceled my classes for those weeks. Or I'm teaching my classes from my hotel room. So,
yeah, man. And
always, if there's a will, there's a way.
now I heard that, man. Always, you know what I'm saying? Got to. And for those that don't know, and I didn't mention this at the beginning, shame on me, but you also have a master in arts ever since 2014. You also a bachelor in fine arts and music performance, you know what I mean, going back to 1991. You know what I mean? Before you joined Roy, you know what I mean? Like I say, the man's decorated with skills in the world of education when it comes to music, and just like, you know what I mean? You've been doing your thing, man. And like I say, big salute to you, man. I'm just want to say I'm proud of you, because as a black man, just black man to black man, like, I'm proud of you, man. You an inspiration to me, and you a
Oh man,
motivation. And thank you, because it's people like yourself, it's gentlemen like yourself, gents like yourself, kings like yourself, brother, who have paved the way for me to be able to have this platform to present and celebrate you and your legacy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'll never take for granted, man. Like, we forget about the people that come before us. Sometimes people get caught up in their own head, their own ego. You know what I mean? Like, it's me, me,
yeah,
me. Nah, hell no. It ain't never me, me, me. It's layers to this. It's levels to this. It's layers to this. Like, behind me, for me, like, StreamYard is a layer for me to be on
yeah,
StreamYard right now, but to project this image. You know what I'm saying? This is StreamYard. That's a layer. You know what I'm saying? Then it's me. And then, it's the layer of the preparation to prepare for an interview. It's just different layers to everything, man. Like, we got to get out of just looking at things at a surface level. When you walk into a room, it's never an empty room. It's plumbing. It's pipes behind that wall. It's electric
yeah,
currents running behind that wall, man. That's how I see things when I walk into an empty room. It's never empty. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Nothing's empty.
I like
You
that.
know, you know what I'm saying? There's atoms in the air. You know what I'm saying? Nothing's empty in this world.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, man, that be my man state, man, with what I do.
I
You know what I
like it.
mean? But I'm reaching to be, at my greatest.
We all gonna we always reaching. Whenever I would see Ron Carter, I say, "How you doing, Ron? What's happening?" And he say, "I'm searching for new notes."
Mm,
So I mean, that we always coming up with new things. What did I say earlier? We're constantly innovating. So we
right,
as that's what we do as Black people. That's what we just do. That comes from our heritage. Just that. I mean, we had to learn to improvise early. I mean, when you bring in a whole bunch of Africans that speak a whole different language from a whole nother country and bringing them here and enslaving them, they had to figure things out fast. They had to learn the
right.
language. They had to figure out things. So we're the master improvisers, and that ain't gonna never change. And we're the master innovators because you can't innovate without improvising. So
Mm, I heard that. That make perfect sense. I
yeah.
understand it now. Yeah, man. Yeah, so when you had lost signal for a second, I was sharing a couple of these great pictures with you and Roy.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Well, obviously this is just Roy, but
Yeah, that's what. But I took that picture. That was
oh,
backstage.
okay. Nice, nice. You
Yeah,
remember where this it was?
it's right here in New York.
Oh, New York. Okay, okay.
I forget the name of the club. That's in London.
London. Okay, okay. Yeah, like I said, I was saying like, hey, they can be anywhere in the world right now. Like you don't know where these pictures was taken at.
Yeah.
No, that's what's so powerful about, being able to travel.
Yeah, yeah. It was great. That was at the Blue Note here in New York.
Okay, okay. What country would you say is like the most receptive out of all, or does any particular country where you performed and you and Roy stand out? Like it's like every time y'all go there,
Oh,
country, city,
London,
state.
London. I've been to London
Mm,
more than I've been anywhere else in the United States.
mm,
We used to go to London all the time, 3 times a year.
wow.
We would do 3 weeks, 6 weeks in January, and then another 6 weeks in August in London. And we did that every year since 1991. And and,
Damn.
and not
Okay.
just London, we go to London and then we do the 6 weeks in London, and then we're doing another 2 3 weeks other parts of the UK. So I
Mm,
spent Roy was huge in the UK, so that's where I spent most of my career. I've been there. I have more friends there because I spent most of my time there over the years because
right.
we're there 3 weeks at a time, 6 weeks at a time. So London
That's
is
powerful right
probably
there.
my in the world, and Paris would probably be a second runner up.
Mm, that's dope right there.
But
And I bet they know all the songs.
yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah. But
Yep.
yeah.
How about this, man? This is the night that we all honored Roy on
Oh
stage.
my gosh, I
You know what I'm
remember
saying?
that. Was that at the winery?
No, that was the promontory.
That was the promontory. Oh my
Yep.
gosh, I
Yeah,
remember
man.
that.
Yeah, and I was so, um, man, blessed. Look at I'm in the middle of
You're
just
in the
straight
middle.
greatness. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the middle, man. Like God is good. That's all I can say, man. God is good to me. You know what I mean? I have no complaints, man. I have no complaints at all. I'm just
You
grateful that,
shouldn't.
yeah, and I'm right beside Roy. You know what I'm
You
saying?
right beside Roy. Yep,
Yeah, I'm grateful,
that's a
man.
great picture. Wow.
And here's the more group picture of all of us.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Rest in peace, to Roy. Rest in peace to Miss Helen Wooten. Man, that's crazy.
Oh,
What a night. That
what
was a
a
powerful night
night.
right there.
What a night.
I'm just grateful, man. So
Wow.
if
Oh
I
man, you
may,
were taking me back. That is wonderful. Shoot, that was great. Great times. I
yeah,
don't
man.
regret none of them times.
No, absolutely, man. Um, so when you behind the piano, when you behind the keyboard, you know, obviously you focus, but like, what are you thinking? Like, because you look like you having so much fun. You so passionate. You're like some people, like your personality is laid back, but you more outgoing when you on the piano and keyboard, you more exuberant.
Yeah, I
You
know,
know what I'm
right? Ain't
saying?
that something?
Yeah,
I'm
like
a
you
whole
really,
different person.
yeah, you a whole different person. So what do you be thinking when you in your groove?
Uh just just it's like a whole spirit comes upon me, and and
Mm,
and 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 then I'm speaking musical language with Roy and everybody on stage, and like what are we going to do, how are we going to do it, when are we going to do it, um and what do you oh, you played this, okay, I'm gonna play that to answer you. musically.
Mm,
So yes, it's that's what I'm thinking. And then sometimes I'm just looking at Roy like, what are you getting ready to do? Because
mm,
sometimes the song might go. That's why I'm saying improvisation is real, and because we might play the song. That's why I said different nuances on the same song can happen at any time. So we might play
mm,
the same song like this, but then one day we were playing it like this, and then Roy just go to a whole
mm,
nother section of the song, and like what? But
mhm.
he the boss, so I got to follow him.
Right.
So so I go there, but and then if sometimes he makes a mistake, and if he does, then as musical director, I have to keep the train going, so I don't go with him, and he'll look at me funny, but he
Mhm.
knows he don't make
Yeah,
it a thing. So because
yeah.
he'll go there, and then I keep it going right where it's supposed to be, and
Mm,
then he'll come back. But and no, the audience won't notice these little things, but
yeah.
we do. Y'all wouldn't know unless you come to like every show that we play. Then
Right. Exactly.
you say, oh, what'd they do there? Right. Other than that, only we would know. And some things
Mhm.
we talk about after the show. Some things we don't talk about. We everybody knows what they
Mm,
did great, or we talk about what we did great. But when somebody makes a mistake or does something a little bit off, we don't discuss it
mm.
unless it
That's
happens
what you.
again.
Right.
If it happens more than one time, then we have to have a conversation because obviously you don't realize that you screwed up right here. So then now we have to talk about it. But normally, I mean, I do the same thing with my band, and as MD, I've done it, and you with your staff at the magazine,
Yeah.
and anybody who's um you empower people to do certain things, and you relegate certain responsibilities, and you trust them to do those things. And if they screw up, they know they screwed up, so you don't have to say nothing all the time. But then if you told them to write this article and write that and do this, and then they write a whole nother thing, um, then you might have to say something. So it's circumstances. Everything's about a circumstance.
I heard that. I love that, man. You done a lot of areas in music, like we discussed. Musical theater experience and commercial. You know, you directed music, books,
Yeah.
lecturers. You have manuscripts. You know what I'm saying? Like it
Yeah.
just the list goes on and on and on and on and on. It's like it's orchestras. You've been part of orchestras. Like man, what do you like best?
Playing with small ensembles. Playing with Roy was my best experience in my life, and then playing with my band and doing my own records was the next best experience.
So
Those are the
basically,
two.
back to the square one, the beginning of how it all
Mhm.
started.
Yep, yep. I so enjoyed every moment playing with Roy and playing his music, and then I enjoy doing my records and going on tour playing my music. I enjoyed
Mm,
doing this show I did called Soulful Night of Keys with me, Lonnie Liston Smith, and Brian Jackson. We did that for 3 years. Those
mm.
were those were kind of the times when I wasn't with Roy, where I couldn't do some of the shows with Roy because I was doing a lot of shows with that situation. So music is just what it is.
Mm. And what is music? If you give a definition.
Organized sound, both pitch and non-pitch. That's how I was defining it, and the thing is, the one great thing about music is it's subjective, because I like all styles of music. You got some cats who just want to hear jazz. Some people just want classical. I like everything: jazz, classical, hip hop. I have a hip hop song on my last record. I forgot to remember to forget. Called
Right.
"Fight the Good Fight." I got the second song on the record is a hip hop song, and the
Wow.
radio promoter lost his mind. Like, Mark, why would you put this so far up in the record? But I told him it's music, music.
Right.
I don't only here in America do we get caught up in labeling stuff.
Mm.
To me is black music. Roy wanted me to call one of my records black music. I never did. I wish I had, but I never did. I was like,
Well,
well, why?
not too late.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. He told me to call it black music or black jazz. I didn't understand. I liked it, but it's very controversial. But
Yeah.
but I like it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
my
I'm sure.
my thing is why. But he did do that because he called things. He had a lot of songs that were that spoke of the fight that we in as black people. So
Yeah.
he always was encouraging about that, and
Mm.
I just can't imagine what he'd be saying right now. What we're dealing with, um, but I know he would have a positive message for all people of color to keep fighting and keep moving. Can't let them win. So
Yeah. No, absolutely. Got to stand our
and he was
ground all the
always
time.
we'll be fine. I feel we'll be fine. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, man. That's dope, man. You know, I know it's been a long night, a long day for you. You know what I'm saying? And remember, we can always do this again. You know what I mean? And then, we gonna definitely catch up in person. But
Oh yeah,
just
yeah. I'm
wanted.
gonna if when I know the date I'm coming to Chicago, we're gonna do it again, and hopefully we get into the studio and I put some music behind your spoken word. That I
Yeah,
would.
man. That'll be an honor and a pleasure, man. Straight up.
Yeah,
I got a lot of different pieces, black power orientated, you know what I mean, or
yeah.
just empowering our black women, you know what I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
community. You know what I'm saying?
That's
I direct
important.
my stuff toward the community, like you heard in the preview.
Exactly. 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 You got to keep doing it. Keep writing. Keep innovating. Coming up with new
Yes, sir.
things. It's
Yeah, I
important.
appreciate that, man. In any closing remarks, um, if someone wanted to, step out there and, be a, to speaking to the young youth, which you are obviously used to doing because you are a lecturer at college,
Yeah.
you talk all the time. But what would be like, what's one of your famous sayings or quotes that you tell them to get them to, get on board or to keep them in tune?
Okay. Two things I say. Um, like I said it earlier, the I say the more you increase the richness of that which is within you, the more you increase your happiness, provided you increase in the same proportion the expression of that greater richness. And knowing that
Mm,
God is the source of your supply and all of your needs are constantly being met because there's a divine surplus. But and then I would also say that there are no limitations as to what you can do as long as you don't set any for yourselves or allow others to set any for you, and always understand your own true reality and work from there. And the last thing I would say is we are what we repeatedly do. Therefore, excellence is not an act, it's a habit. So, and anything you go about doing, no matter how complex it is or simple it is, go about it in the most excellent ways. Because at the end of the day, um, details is the thing. The most successful people in this world are people who deal with the details, the little things, the little things.
Right.
So that's what I would tell any youngster, and I tell my students all the time: deal with the details. Deal with the details. Deal with the little things. If you deal with the little things and make those little things important, and not fluff them over like, oh, okay, whatever. If you like, oh, let me get that right. Let me do that. Let me deal with the little things. And that goes, if you're a young musician, then that's how you go about your practice. You go about your practice. And you're talking about somebody who practice 8 hours every day for a whole summer. So I know about dealing with details. And so I and deal with every last little thing. So if you're trying to learn, you're trying to transcribe this, trying to learn this song, trying to learn it, take the time. Don't rush through it. If it takes you 2 days, 3 days to learn it, take the 3 days to learn it. And then take the next 3 weeks to practice it. So it's those kind of things, dealing with the little things, the details of things, details of your instrument. If you're coming up with a business plan, write it out properly. Make sure you cover every little aspect so that nothing trips you up. Deal with all the details of everything. So those are the things I would definitely say to any youngster, because I say it anyway. I do it all the time, and students come back quoting me because I say that it's important to me. It's for youngsters to have that kind of mindset, to deal with the sense of urgency as we have as a people, that we have to continue with that sense of urgency. So definitely do.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man, for sharing, because words definitely hold weight, but the action behind doing what you say holds even more. So, what I mean, I love that. And, you can never have too much good advice. You know what I'm saying? You can never be reminded about things that you should know, heard before. Like, sometimes, not everybody's as self-motivated as the next person. Sometimes somebody needs a couple of pushes in the back when the other person might just only need to be told one time. So
Right.
I get it. I get it. And that's with me. Like, I'm a self-motivator, but in certain areas of my life, I have to tell myself multiple times to get myself into gear and to convince myself that I can, I will, and I shall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Opposed to other things that just come easy to me.
Exactly. It's not easy. It's not easy, and just getting through it and doing it, and just having thick skin, and having pride in what you do, and having confidence in what you do, and not worry about what people say, and get caught up in any criticism you may receive, because that's going to happen. There's going to be constructive criticism, and then there's going to be the hater criticism, where they just hating on you. It won't matter what you do, they're going to hate on it. And then there's going to be that constructive criticism where they say, oh, if you've done it like this, maybe you should do this time. Maybe you should do, that's called constructive criticism. But if they just say, oh man, that was whack, and then there's nothing behind that, then that's just hating kind of criticism. And those are the things you have to be able to ignore. So those are the things you got to remember to forget.
Mm-hmm. Forget to remember to. Hold on, I get it right. I get it right. I forget to remember to forget. Something like that.
Yeah, I forgot to remember to forget.
Oh, I forgot. Forgot. Yeah, I forgot to remember to forget. New album in stores.
Yeah, it's out there, but it's a new that came out a year ago. But the newest
new
one
album in stores coming.
Yeah, it's called "Don't Look Back." It's coming out in around May 28th. and it's got a lot of artists on it. It's mostly vocal and it's dance music. And I did a remake of 2 of Roy Ayers' songs, but I wrote all the music on it except for those 2. And I got DJ mixes. It's coming out on vinyl too. So
Nice. Congratulations.
It's gonna be in the dance clubs. So
Nice.
different kind of record.
Absolutely, man. Like I say, man, always an honor, a pleasure, man. I just want to, use this time as we close out the show to just, again, thank you. Big salute to everything you're doing. Very proud of you, brother. You know what I'm saying? May God continue to watch
proud of you,
your
and I
daughter,
appreciate it.
your whole family, you know what I'm saying? May, things continue to come to you in abundance, and may you have great prosperity, and you know what I mean? And may this new album, you know what I mean, that you about to release, may it be even more the most successful, you know what I mean? Because I feel like it's related to, I forgot to remember to forget
It's
when
gonna
looking
be.
back.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
looking
yeah,
back, you said, don't look back, right? Don't look
yeah,
back. And it's like, don't
exactly.
look back at what you forgot to forget. Like it feels like it goes together. It feels like it's a line. Like I kind of get it. Like,
Oh man.
like don't go back. Don't look back. Like don't go back to your old ways type of thing. Like don't look back to what I just told you, which is I forgot to remember to forget.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't even make that connection. You make a poem on that. I love it.
Straight
Wow.
like that, man.
I didn't even think about it. That's dope.
No, man, bro, you a dope artist, a dope musician, man. Um, you're a great spirit, man, and just you know, man, you done an awesome job, and you have so much more to do. And again, I'm always grateful to celebrate, your legacy, man, and you know, and you did great, man, working with Roy for over 30 years, man. That's something to always be, man, like sleep with a smile on your face at night. Like
I
that's
know, I
great, man.
know, I
Like that's
know.
awesome, man. Who can
I've
say
had
that, man?
every last moment was just beautiful. And the good thing, why I can easily smile about it, I never took it for granted. You know,
Mm,
I knew what I was doing, and I knew who I was playing with, and I made it a treasure, and that's why we were friends. We were more than just musical partners. We were friends. I'd go to his house. I'd take him this place. Mark, can you pick me up? Mark, you feel like going to Atlantic City? You know,
mhm.
we hung out. We were friends.
Right,
We were not just musical partners. I go to his house and we go to this party, go to this place. Just hung out. We were off the
mhm.
stage, on the
Right.
stage. Um, I'll treasure that, and I'm happy to share it with everybody that's tuning in. That wanted to know about some inside things. I remember when he first broke the European market,
Mm,
and first year we went to London. I mean, well, he had already broken London, but the rest
right.
of Europe, they didn't know really who he was at that time. And we went there, and it was there wasn't that many people there, and it was fine. And Roy still played. Um, One thing he said is, "What's the difference between 5 people in the audience, or 10 people in the audience, or 5,000 people in the audience, or 50,000 people in the audience? What's the difference?" And I'm up here trying to think it like, is this a riddle? And I'm trying.
Yeah, I'm over here thinking right now, like,
he
and,
said, he
and it's
said,
no difference, right? It's no difference.
exactly, exactly. There's no difference. You're gonna play the music with the same energy for 5 people as you'll play for 50,000 people. You're gonna play with the same spirit and the same enthusiasm, man. Um, there you go.
Mm,
That's the mindset. that we need to walk away with.
Yeah, it keeps you prepared for the 50,000 if you perform in front of 5.
If you perform for 5 people with the same spirit you've performed for 50,000 people, you just don't put a number on that. You hit the stage, you hit the stage. Your
Right.
name's on the line, period. Your art is on the line. When you set up to do an interview, your show's on the line. You gotta deal with that. You gotta go about it. And when you do a live show and during a poetry show, you're gonna come about it with the same energy, no matter whether how big the crowd is or not. But my point is, when we first went, it wasn't that many people. But the next year when we went out there, line around the damn corner.
Damn.
That's how fast the word spread who this man was. And the rest was history. And this was back in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's real powerful right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you never know when things will change or just turn around or turn over, like, you know what I mean? And you just got to be ready. Stay ready, like they say.
Stay ready. Yep. That's so funny. I got a song on my new record called that.
Straight up. Okay. Yeah, definitely. I'm anxious to check out more of your music, man. And my sister, she a sister of her word. You know what I'm saying? She say she gonna get the book, the book. She gonna get the book. You know what I'm saying?
I believe it. I believe
Yeah,
it.
and we gonna learn together. You know what I'm saying? So.
Right. I hope to see. I'm gonna let you know. I hope to meet her when I come out to Chicago, because I'm definitely coming out there. I just don't know the date yet, but you'll be one of the first to know as soon as I come out there.
Yeah, much respect, brother. Much respect.
Yeah.
I definitely let her know if she's in Chicago.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, brother, hey, thank you again for everything, man. You already know if you need anything, is any way that I can help on my end, or whatever I can bring to the table just to help assist in any type of way. You already know I'm always here for you. You know what I'm saying? I got your back, brother, and you got my support all day. And just thank you for giving me the liberty to having feature you on my show again. You know
Oh
what I'm
man,
saying?
thank you. I'm honored to be on your show. That's how I look at it. So I'm really happy about it. So I appreciate you. Yep.
One love, brother. One love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yep. We gonna help each other. So no, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna definitely let you know, and we're gonna definitely record some music. We're gonna put one song on track. We're gonna do that when I come to Chicago, or when you come to New York. When you come to New York, when the last time you was in New York?
I've been to 2015. I only been to New York one time.
Oh, okay.
2015. But I hit all the boroughs. I was staying in Brooklyn. Yeah, at an Airbnb, one of my homegirls.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be in. I'm definitely coming to Chicago. I say sometime in May or June, because I think I'm supposed to be going to Europe in July. So it's going to definitely be May or June in Chicago, Atlanta, and everything else is in August. So we're going to definitely catch up for sure.
Okay. With that being said, man, when it comes to the music, how can people, purchase some of your music, some of these past albums? What's the best way for them to get some of these books that you've written and taken the time to put all this education into?
Oh, you can get everything on Amazon, but I'm gonna write in the chat my website.
Yeah, please. And I'm sorry for not having your website already on the screen. I dropped the ball on that one. Yeah, but absolutely.
That's it.
And thank you.
You can and on my website there's a store, and you can get it on the store. Now the other thing is it's all on all of the Apple Music, Amazon, and if you Google Mark Adams Jazz, it'll come up anyway. All of my records in different platforms, different digital. It's all of them, but they're all on that website. All of the records that I've done are there, and you can get the digital or
Damn.
you can get the digital or the other one, either one.
Okay, absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. He said it, man. Go to the website. It's all documented. It's all there. And the special diagram, man. But man, keep doing what you're doing, brother. I ain't got to tell you though. I'm saying you've been doing this since I've been, before I've been around doing what I've been doing. So you paved the way for me. So I appreciate you, man. And just stay safe, man. And safe travels always to you when you out there. And
I will.
much love. That's all I can say, man.
Much love to you too, bro.
Yes,
Really,
sir.
this was
Much
good.
respect. One love.
Absolutely, one love. One love. Thank you, sir.
No. Yeah, thank you, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Okay, you do the
Watch a
same.
watch a movie. Watch a movie.
You know, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
All
I'm
right,
about to
man.
do the same. I'm gonna hit up Tubi after this. That's how I wind down too.
Yep.
What I'm saying?
That's
Straight like
that's what
that.
that's what I'm gonna do. All right, man.
Yeah,
We'll
appreciate you.
talk. I appreciate you more.
Yes, sir. Much love, Mark.
Much love too. All right.
Yes, sir. Peace. Blessings.
Later.
Yes, thank you again for everybody that tuned in tonight. You know what I mean? Everyone that was in the chat, everyone that left comments, you know what I mean? Very grateful. Hope that you all are sharing this video. Continue to do that. You know what I mean? We did just feature the one and only, the legendary pianist and keyboardist, globally known, um, Mark Adams. Man, if you know who Mark Adams is, you know now, or you have a better indication of who this man is. You know what I mean? Not only was he playing alongside of Roy Ayers as being the director of the band for Roy Ayers for since 1991. Man, what a pleasure to be able to feature him. But you know how we close out the show though. So, as you know, on this platform, I said in management, we don't just do interviews. We have a lot of shows that we do. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to say that. And I'm going to go backwards and bring you back up to date. So just yesterday, if you missed it, we had another great episode of From Her Point of View talk show hosted by celebrity Lily the Goddess out of Florida and celebrity singer Giselle here out of Chicago. So make sure you all go and check out that interview because we featured Tay, celebrity model Tay Dawson was the episode. And tomorrow, actually, this is what we doing. We returning with the square table. I apologize. It's been a while. Me and Mimi being busy. Mimi Acosta, the legendary Mimi Acosta out of Atlanta, my co-host. But we are back actually, and we're returning with another great set of guests. You know what I mean? I got my brother Banks out of Cincinnati. I got my sister Annette out of Virginia, and I got my sister Michaela out of Chi-Town, you know what I mean? And they all are somebody special. And we're going to be speaking about some awarenesses that you should know that is representing the month of March, of course, and also always celebrating Women's Month as we close out the month. Let me see. Let me see. So then on Sunday, yes, Sunday we returning with Food Chronicles with Mimi and I said it. I'm really excited about that because I'm always excited to eat. You know what I mean? I like to eat. If you didn't know, now you know. Like that's one of my things. I don't gain too much weight, but I like to eat. You wouldn't be able to tell that I eat as much as I do, but I do. But with that being said, that's gonna be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time from the Square Table Talk Show. That's gonna be 7 p.m. Central Standard, or is it going to be 8? I don't know. It said on the flyer. It's too small. I can't see it right now. But nevertheless, whatever it say on the flyer, that's what it's going to be. I'm gonna need you to zoom in for me. But nevertheless, and don't forget, I haven't forgot. I do have a program called Scar Tissue Talk Show. We'll be returning with that real soon. I had kind of like put a lot of energy into, completing, and I'm glad mission is complete. We just recently completed 6th annual Tribute to Women event tour. That's an annual event that I do here in Chicago. I'm really grateful that we completed that. Had an awesome team of people that helped me. It was just great, you know what I'm saying? And you can see it on my page, my Facebook page. I said it Callahan the second, or I said it Callahan the third. Now, with that being said, if you want your interview, I do schedule artist spotlight interviews, business spotlight interviews. You know, come to my show. You know what I mean? Tell your story. Allow me to celebrate you. Allow my platform to help spread the word about what you do and what you're passionate about and what you love. You know, this is what we do. Also, this is our annual backdrop that's associated with my business that I do. It's from September 2024 to September 2025. Then we'll be doing it again. So if you like to be on my future backdrop, and go ahead and secure your space at any time, because you know September will be here like that. You know, time move fast. So go ahead and just hit me up. You know, my number is 219-801-1322. My email is isaiditmanagement@gmail.com. Contact me anytime. You know, I'm just that type of guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty open. You know, but just as long as y'all don't contact me with no nonsense, then, you know, ain't nobody got time for that. But I got love for all, though. Now, with that being said, you know, I'm anxious to close out this show with shout outs. That's what I always do. I end the show with a bunch of shout outs, because I'm grateful that so many people have taken their time to be able to just, you know, think of me, to, you know, even say my name and to help promote their business. And so they did it. So I'm going to do it and return the favor and the energy and share it. And it goes like this. I hope you enjoy. Peace and blessings. So when this is completed, the video ends. So again, thank you again to Mark Adams, the legendary Mark Adams, the iconic Mark Adams, for being here today. Rest in peace to King of Vibes, the icon Nick Roy Ayers, musical genius. Much love. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings.
Yo, what's the word, everybody? This Wise Song, aka Jay Israel, CEO of Wise Loves to Buy LLC, and I'd like to give a huge shout out to my boy, I Said It, the celebrity interviewer, the poet, the score table. Tap in.
What's up? It's your boy DJ Green Guy, and every time I'm riding through the hood, I'm always on the move, hustling on my grind. But I gotta give a big shout out to I Said It, the celebrity interviewer, man. Whenever you get a chance, check out his show. I always watch it every time I get a chance. You know.
Hey guys, it's me, CB of CB and the Boys radio show, here to shout out our good friend, celebrity interviewer I Said It, and the I Said It show, where voices are heard and perspectives collide. Tune in for trending topics, celebrity interviews, and thought-provoking conversations that matter. So, celebrity interviewer I Said It, and the I Said It show.
Top of the day, what's happening? You got official Millman here, man. I'm the official representative of Dude Nim 1 INC, and I'd like to give a shout out to I Said It TV. He got a new show coming up. You know what I'm saying? That's my man. We've been rocking for a long time, man. You dig? So, go to Instagram at Dude Nim 1 for the company website. And, man, show some love, man. Look, you dig what I'm saying? I'm catching up. And on that note, come in, he's a fool now.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Lily the Goddess. I want to give a shout out to celebrity interviewer I Said It. Shout out to I Said It Management. And don't forget to follow your girl, Lily the Goddess, on all social media platforms. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the bell so you can get notifications anytime I upload new content.
This Monster Yo, director, actor, artist, author, CEO of Monster Yo Music ENT. Co-CEO of Classic ENT. Shout out to LBC Face. Co-owner of Can of Muscle. Shout out to my business partner, Can of Muscle Russell. And shout out to celebrity interviewer I Said It. Yeah, I said it.
Hey, you guys, what's up? I'm your girl, Cinnamon, the owner and the founder of Sinful South. Yes, Sinful South. I make small, handcrafted barbecue sauce made just for you. Yes, so look for me on all social media platforms. Instagram, Facebook, and sometimes TikTok and YouTube too. And while you're at it, look for my boy I Said It. Yes, I Said It. I Said It, the celebrity interviewer. Look for him on all social media platforms. All right, holla. Have a great day.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mimi Acosta of MIA Entertainment Group. I just want to take this opportunity to give a huge shout out and send all my love to celebrity interviewer I Said It Management. I just want you to know, my brother, that I am so proud of you in everything that you do. I am right there standing with you, one step at a time. One love and God bless.
This your girl Kia, a Netcast News 219 actress. Make sure you check me out on Tubi with background extras. I'm on some other shows, so make sure you check me out. Again, that's background extras. And shout out to my boy. I Said It. 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 Peace.
Yo, it's your boy, Robert Kane. What's up? Hey, man, it's Robert Kane at RobertKaneENT.com. Y'all check me out. And do me a favor. Check out my homie, celebrity interviewer. I Said It. Yo, he got a show part 4. It's finna go down. That's 4 or cuatro. But like we said in the hood, part 4. Hey, man, it's your boy, Robert Kane. Kane Gang. We in the building. Yeah.
What's up, y'all? What's up? It's Miss Red, CEO and owner of Get You a Red Phoenix Rising. Y'all already know what it is. I want to send a shout out to the celebrity interviewer. I Said It, the show for free promo. Make sure y'all tune in now because it's only up from here.
Miss Mills and Hills coming to you. Miss Crystal Wiley, straight out of ATL. You can catch me on Mills and Hills 83. Or your favorite delivery girl 83 on Instagram. And also you can check me out on Facebook, Mills and Hills 83. And also I want to give a personal shout out to I Said It Management because you're the dopest.
I want to shout out to I Said It. Thank you so much for the promo. This is Vita from Vita Talks and also Vita Talks Present Car Chronicles. I'm also on Underground Hitters and Intellectual Radio every Wednesday with Born Rich. And I'm also on 106.3 every Sunday at 11:30 to 12:30 with First Lady China and Born Rich. Catch me on those days. Thank you so much again. I Said It.
Hey everyone, it's Lisa E., radio personality, super producer, and manager of R&B singer Shaun White. And you're listening to Celebrity Interviewer I Said It, the show. Make sure you tell all your friends and family to tune in. Have a great one.
Yo, what's up? It's R&B singer Shaun White. My new album, Kisses, out now, available on all digital platforms. Make sure you tune in to the homie, celebrity interviewer I Said It, the show. Let's get it, baby.
Hi, I'm Gina Hills of Life and Entertainment, and I am on I Said It TV. Make sure you guys like and subscribe.
It's the originated Jazzo, y'all. Make this real quick, man. Shout out to I Said It Management. Doing it big.
Hey everybody, this is Yannicka the violinist, and I'm here to give a big shout out to the amazing celebrity interviewer I Said It, because he said it.
What up, y'all? This is your girl, Charlie Kane here, and I'm the owner of Fabulicious Candle Boutique. I'm also an upcoming artist. You can check me out at Fabulicious Candle Boutique on Facebook and Instagram, or Charlie Kane on Facebook and Instagram. But before I leave, I have to give a special shout out to the #1 celebrity interviewer. I Said It. You doing your big one, baby. Peace.
Yo, what's the word? It's Deacon Gore. FTF, Forever Travel Fly, 50-50, face to face or nothing at all. You said it, they said it, we said it, but it don't even matter unless it's the celebrity interviewer. I said it.
Hello, everyone. This is Queen Bee of Voice. I just want to give a shout out to I Said It Management for allowing me to come on his platform to connect with some beautiful women. And you can reach me on IG as Queen Bee of Voice. And my business is Mommy and Me Custom Made LCC. And with that being said, have a blessed day.
Yeah, I said it, all right?
I support, I said it, the poet. I support, I said it, the poet. I said, I support it, I said the poet. I support.
Hey everybody, it's Jazzy No Nonsense, the poet, right here at WHPR TV 33 on demand, right here in Highland Park, Michigan. Giving a shout out to my man, I said it, management celebrity interviewer. Y'all make sure y'all tap in to both of us, baby. Peace out.
What's up, family? It's your girl, the singing diva, aka Amanya Amario, international recording artist. When I want to be interviewed and I want the best interview possible, I check out Celebrity Interviewer, I Said It. Now, don't you forget now, Celebrity Interviewer, I Said It. Check it out, check it out, check it out. Peace.
Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Dean Motor Photography, giving a big shout out to my main man, Celebrity Interviewer, I Said It, the poet. The show sponsored by the famous Chicago Bridge magazine. God bless you.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Giselle, singer, songwriter, and all-around creator. You can follow me everywhere at Jizzy Worldwide. That's Gizzy Worldwide. And of course, I'm rocking with Celebrity Interviewer, I Said It.
The Celebrity Interviewer, I said it, and I approve this message. By the way, if anybody asks, I said it. Blessings.